What in the world does this rocket ship flying past my head have anything to do with Cardano ADA and this ADA chart? Well, the physics of that rocket ship has everything to do with the momentum of this bear market and the slow shift that we are looking for. We're looking to happen going into the next bull cycle. Going to break it down on the charts, even going to kind of dive into the midterm, talk about this daily chart and how that momentum and the physics behind that rocket ship have to do with where we are with ADA right now. Before we do, I want to cover XRP because there's some things I'm really anticipating in terms of XRP relating to the Ripple case I wanted to discuss very briefly. Now, this is the XRP chart. One thing to note before we even talk about the speculation and look at that is just the fact that XRP, if you look at this swing low in June, XRP just holding strong. We've covered this before, but I want to make a note of that. Still holding strong with this higher low when much of crypto, I should say, has already seen lower lows from this swing low in June, right? Seeing lower lows. So XRP interesting in that regard. Now, to cover what's going on, this is the most recent headlines that I've seen. Charles Hoskinson, CEO of Cardano, and I didn't even know Cardano had a CEO. Look at that. And CEO of Input Output Global mentioned that he has heard rumors that a 2-year legal battle between Ripple and the Securities and Exchange Commission may reach a resolution on December 15th. So Charles saying he heard rumors, and then we have in response to this, Eleanor Terrett, a Fox business reporter, tweeted, "It's not true." So Charles hearing rumors December 15th settlement, and then guess what? We're hearing rumors it's not true. So I shouldn't say settlement, but I guess resolution. So the point isn't who's right, who's wrong. Is December 15th going to be the date or not? What really gets me thinking in my mind is there will be a date. Maybe it's December 15th, maybe it's not, but there will be a date. And there's probably going to be more speculation and predictions and everything, but there will be a date. And when I look at XRP and I look at this chart, the question that I have is, besides retail, all of us that are just have no idea what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, but the insiders, the people that do know, and the rumors that do swirl behind the scenes, will those rumors pick up? And will that word spread? And what will the charts do before any of us know what's happening? That's the biggest question on my mind. So whether it's December 15th or not, what are charts doing? Are we going to see out of nowhere XRP absolutely explode? Or are we going to see out of nowhere XRP absolutely fall, crash? And the biggest question I have, and I'm going to be very vigilant in watching the XRP charts, is if that happens, explosion to the upside, crash to the downside, what's the rest of the market doing? Is it just XRP, or is the rest of the market moving as well? That will be a key factor in what I think is going on. But I'm very much watching XRP, especially if we look at XRP just from a technical analysis perspective. We have our indicators. We have the fact that it's kind of at this resistance area right now. We can kind of play around and speculate with December 15th, for instance. We have the 200-day moving average, the 20-day moving average, this very confluent small range that XRP is pretty much at. And we have the 50-day moving average just above it, around 40 to 41 cents. If XRP makes an explosive move through those areas, what could that potentially signal? And it's very much speculation, but I have to say, in the years that I've been in crypto, I feel like we see that happen a lot. Something moves, and then all of a sudden, all of us wondering what happened, and then boom, we see some type of news, right? I think we see that often. Maybe not so often, but I think it happens. And maybe I'm a little cynical as just someone out here in retail with you, but that's something I'm watching for. I'd be very curious to see if there's any leading move on the XRP charts when the rest of crypto is not doing anything. And so as we start seeing speculations and rumors spreading or whatever, that's something that's going to be on top of my mind as I look at these XRP charts. So let's pivot over here to the spaceship. This is the spaceship. And I really, if you're an ADA holder, track with me. Follow what I'm about to break down, because for me, somebody that's very visual, I think this explains perfectly where we are with Cardano ADA. Even the title of this video, Main Engines Activate. Somebody might be like Dan saying ADA is going to just rocket to the moon right now. That's not what I'm saying. But Main Engine Activate has a very, very big purpose in the trend reversal and the momentum shift of this ADA chart. So I want to break down what's going on here on this visualization, the spaceship that's right by my head. Check this out real quick. Track with me, please. No kind of spaceship can make banking turns in space. That's kind of number one. It seems to me a lot of people in crypto, they just want this banking turn as quick as possible, a turn out of this bear market. So with the momentum that we have going on right now, the speed in which crypto has been falling, it's likely not going to happen. Let's first accept that. When an airplane makes a banking turn, it does so by deflecting off a cushion of air. In space, there's essentially no air. So spaceships cannot make banking turns. So track with me with the physics here, and then we're actually going to dig in right into the zoomed out weekly and then this more zoomed in daily chart. Because there's no air to redirect its momentum, a spaceship still has momentum in the original direction. So check out the spaceship. It's like it turns, right? But it's still like flying in the wrong direction because there's no air to deflect off of. So the momentum is strong. Things need to engage. Things need to happen for the momentum to truly shift. In order to get rid of its original momentum, a spaceship would have to fire rockets in the opposite direction that it was originally traveling. And that's how the true shift would happen, firing up those rockets. And for me, when I look at this chart, there's a couple things going on. That banking turn that many people would want might not happen as quickly as possible. A lot of it has to do with the environment in which crypto is right now. Not only crypto itself and all of these exchange collapses and everything that's going on with the bankruptcies, but just the macroeconomic landscape that we're within right now. All of the environment is very tough, and we're in this very large free fall, and it's massive momentum to the downside. So we need main engines to activate. We need some time for that shift to happen because it's not immediate. So what does that look like? This is what it looks like. Number one, what are the main engines? Main engines for me are the fundamentals of this blockchain. Obviously, the main engines of the entire crypto industry, there's going to take some time for them to kind of boost on, things to start shifting. But for Cardano and the ADA chart that we're looking at, we have the fundamentals that it's built on. And for me, those main engines are kind of activated. We're ready. And the shift on this chart from a technical analysis perspective is actually slowly beginning. There could very much be another fall, another leg down, but I think the worst is over in terms of this chart. Just like in this last bear market, the worst was over on that green line that I just drew, even though there was a capitulation left in play. So let's look at this now. Let's dig into this momentum shift, and it's already has started. This free fall back in May into June, and actually just May, that free fall to that lower low. And then now this consolidation that we're in, I want to talk about this because this is a key part of this bear market. Many people might say, "Hey, that channel doesn't look right. You didn't hit the wicks at the top, or you should be using the candle closes on the daily." Doesn't matter. It's a story that's happening here. You can draw your pattern however you want to draw your pattern. These are lower lows, lower highs that are happening. The lower highs in the upper trend line, lower lows down here at the lower trend line. It's a clear formation that we're in. It's a clear downtrend that we're in. And at the end of the day, as always, there's always two options. We can always go in two directions. Now, if it's a break to the upside, or if it's a break to the downside, either one, it's part of the momentum shift story. And this is a daily chart. It looks kind of zoomed in and small, but this is going all the way back to May. So this has been in the making for a while. But if we fall to the downside, if ADA falls to the downside, and then there's just even a pullback to the trend line and it's still falling, and then it actually is falling to 17-cent area, which we've already identified as kind of this worst case scenario, and I guess things could get worse, right? But 17 cents being that area if Bitcoin's falling to its own $11,000 to $12,000 range, which again would be commonplace for Bitcoin cycles, 17 cents ADA in play. This could be the capitulation that many people are waiting for. And if that's the case, this would be the beginning of that momentum shift. Meaning if we're looking at this picture of this rocket ship, it could be the beginning of ADA finally making that turn. And now those engines really need to just kind of burst and throw ADA into the opposite direction. So the beginning of that turn potentially in play on this chart. So, but if you zoom out on the daily chart, if even this is still yet to happen, look how small of a time frame. Maybe it even extends even to April or something, but look how small of a time frame compared to the mess that we just went through. For me, the worst is over in terms of ADA, even if we go lower, even if it capitulates lower. Now, on the flip side, to the upside, this could also be the story of the momentum shift for ADA, meaning maybe we don't get that final capitulation, but maybe things are pretty rocky for us. But we get, in the shorter term, a move to the upside. We're breaking the 20-day moving average, the 50-day moving average. If even that move happened to 34 cents, the markets would be like, oh man, 10%, 10 to 20% move to the upside. We're on to something here. You know how excited the crypto markets get right now, especially in this last week has been very boring. But we're moving to the upside, even to the upper trend line, 40 cents or so. If that's happening, we could still be in this environment where things just need to just keep settling, right? And even maybe there's even a little bit of a lower low, slightly below 30 cents. Maybe that happens. It's all speculative, but either way, you see how we're kind of coming to the final stage potentially of this cycle shift. And you can also see, just based on these speculative setups that I just did, whether capitulation to 17 cents, whether we're getting a breakout to the upside and then kind of back down, you can see the time that's required for that shift. But I'll say this, the engines are activated to support the shift. And as we wait for inflation to settle down, and we wait for the Fed to pivot, and we wait for the economy to start making its own momentum shift, we wait for all of these things to happen. We have the fundamentals of this new technology, Cardano, in play and ready. And so for me, those are the main engines. For me, that is what will allow ADA on these charts to make this massive shift and finally turn on the rocket ships going into the next cycle. But I encourage everybody, and this is what I'm doing, this is how I see the charts, just zoom out on the charts and really have some respect for the momentum. Have some respect. If we look at Cardano ADA charts as this rocket ship, there needs to be respect and some patience for the shift that we want to see. And so while that's happening, for me, I'm just sitting here and I'm kind of like trying to plan, because the shift, I think, is slowly happening, slowly starting to happen. And the urgency factor for me is kind of ramping up. Things are becoming more urgent. And, that could mean there's a few months left, which in my view, covering crypto for 5 years on YouTube, a few months is not that long. If there's only a few months left. So there's an urgency factor for me. But that would be what I would say in terms of momentum. The momentum shift, I think, is beginning. It's in play. We're starting to see it in kind of these formations, and we're starting to see it from a timeline perspective as we go into this new year. Even if 2023 is the recession, I think markets, namely like this chart that we see here, even S&P 500 chart, I think those will slowly start to shift around before the economy even kind of escapes the mess that it's in. So those are my thoughts, everybody. Let me know your thoughts below. I appreciate you. I really do. Hit the subscribe and like. I'll see you in the next video. God bless.